I missed that shot on purpose. That's ridiculous. Nobody misses a shot on purpose. Nobody's just looking. Nobody's not in the market yet. But these are excuses that customers give us when they come in. For the next 4 weeks, PK52, the Saturday morning meeting, will look at ways to overcome the opening objection. Remember, any athlete or anybody that practices any kind of sport or a skill works to get better at that skill. When you know what's coming, just looking, what's your rate, what's your best payment, is that the best you can do, just looking, shopping around, not really in the market yet. These are all things that every customer has said at least once, and you hear once or more than once a day. The best way to overcome an objection is to practice overcoming the objection before it's ever voiced. We'll start this week with, I'm just looking. I'm just looking. Walk into a department store as a man and look for a suit, pair of slacks, or a shirt. If you're hit as soon as you walk in the front door, may I help you? The immediate response is, oh, I'm just looking. No, you're not. You're not just looking. You have no idea where the shirts that you'll like are in the store, where the ties that will match the shirt and the pants are, and you may not be able to even match a tie. Have terrible taste in blends and colors. But the person working in the store, that's what they do for a living. So we've got to figure out how to get the customer to see us as an absolute expert, as a source, as a way to be able to get faster to their decision and get the vehicle they really want. It seems to me that over the years, I've heard customers say, well, this wasn't exactly my dream car, or this car wasn't a great car, or I didn't get a good deal. None of those customers left the dealership saying, I got a bad deal. They all told their neighbors, oh, it's the best deal, man. I stole the car. It was the greatest thing ever. But somewhere during the process of making payments, it went from the best deal ever to a horrible car, and I got taken advantage of. Every customer wants to find a salesperson, wants to find somebody they can trust in the business and do business with long term. The problem is all the internet sources are basically saying that you better check with us before you go to a dealership because the people are not trustworthy of the dealership. The salespeople will do anything to sell you a car. The customer needs to understand when they come to the dealership or they go online and request information, we're trying to sell them a car. Nobody's kidding anybody. We really want to help you buy the car that you really want. And then we want you to come back. So today we're going to focus on I'm just looking. No matter who you are watching this series, you know that you've said that to somebody before and you really weren't just looking. Just looking is one of the greatest defense mechanisms of all time. If I say just looking, and look at the posture of the customer. No, we're just looking. Take away the words. What does this say? I need a little space. I need a little time. I'm really uncomfortable. What if we can change that by reversing the just looking scenario? Here's what I would do. I would look at why does the customer say I'm just looking? Because what it does is it takes an aggressive salesperson and backs them away, or at least there's a feeling that they back them away. So I'm going to give you a way to overcome I'm just looking. Remember, in this next 4 weeks, the series is not how to fix it, it's a way to overcome. There's no one the way. No matter who the trainer is, or who the manager is, or who the owner is, there's not one way because every customer is different. But the more you practice the scenario, the more the scenario comes up that you've practiced, the better you get at the business. And if the customer buys into you, now it's game over. Remember, if they're looking for a car, they can always leave. But once they've decided on you, you've got them. So let's get past these first objections so the customer can spend the rest of the time listening and using your talents. I'm just looking. A lot of you heard me talk in the past that I think the car business is like sports. The more you practice, the better you become, and you get great at your skills, and that's when you go to the next level. I'm in my game room here in the house, and this is kind of a montage to my 4 sons. All over the walls of this room are jerseys and things that they've achieved. I wanted them to be around that achievement because it makes them realize there is a next step. I assume that 9 to 10 out of 10 customers are going to say, I'm just looking. I realize just looking makes them feel like they have defended against a salesperson. So I believe that every salesperson should write their greeting. Greetings are easy to write. If your dealership is spending multiple thousands of dollars on a marketing campaign, let's say this month it's Corolla month, and we're selling Corollas at $179 a month on a 24-month lease. So your greeting could include something like, I hope you've heard about our Corolla month, the $179 payment on one of the greatest cars in America, the #1 selling car in the history of all cars. If they've heard the commercials multiple times, then they say, oh yeah, I have heard that commercial. So that puts you in a situation, watch this, where you said something that's fact, now a salesperson tells the truth. It's little, it's small, but isn't it great when you start a conversation with something the customer already knows is fact? So in my greeting, every salesperson once a month, once a quarter, should actually write down what you're going to say to the customers based upon what Toyota's doing nationally, what you're doing locally at your dealership, what's out there that they've heard before, because it's deja vu all over again. If I know that to be true, then I feel pretty good about it. Yes, I know that, I've heard that, I understand that. So I would say something to the customer, well, welcome to ABC Toyota. I hope you've heard about the $179 Corolla month because it's phenomenal. My name is KC. So what I've done is I've opened up. At this point in time, the customer is going to come back with a response. So before that response comes out, you know what it's going to be. Just add it to your greeting. I hope you've heard about the $179 Corolla month. It's fantastic. My name is KC. Listen, I know you guys are just looking. Think about what we just did. Remember, this is a way, not the way. But if I say, I realize you guys are just looking, then what I've done is I've taken that away from them. I already understand they're just looking. That should give them a little bit of peace. So let me do this again. My name is KC. I know you're just looking. And in this market, that is so important. So let me put some body language in with this, because sometimes they can't hear what you say because they're anxious, but they certainly can feel your presence. So it would be something like this. My name is KC. I know you're just looking. And in this market, that's really important. Tell me what's most important to you. Okay, I was very military with that, very strict with that. Watch this. I know you're just looking. Look at my hand gesture. What's that saying? I'm not coming any closer. This is the barrier. I know you're just looking. And then to the heart. And that's important. I understand you. Then a step back, because basically the just looking is a physical step back and a turn. I become smaller, and I said, what's most important to you? Turning my head, which puts my ear to you. Let me do this again. In any scenario, there's a defensive posture. There's a way to defend something. A safety in football takes that first step to move the guy to the outside. All we're doing right here is we know what's coming. I'm just looking, I'm not in the market, we don't need any help right now. What I need to do is I need to turn that around to, I understand where you are, I'm here to help, let me take away your objections. So let me do it again. Welcome to the dealership. I hope you're here for the 179 Corolla Super Special we got going on right now. My name is KC. Listen, I know you guys are just looking, and that's important. Tell me what's most important to you. So it doesn't matter where the words are, it's the body language. And what if a customer came back, and let's have a little bit of moment of humor, and they came back, no, we're not just looking, we're here to buy something right now. It doesn't take any salesperson at any level that long to make I can sell you a car right now. Why are you in such a hurry to get them to say yes? They're here. The first thing you want to sell is yourself. Sell yourself. Once you've completely sold yourself and you let them know that this was the best choice of their life because you're here, then it's okay to move to the second thing to sell. yourself. Now that you've done that twice, you probably hadn't left anything out. So the third and probably the most important thing that you should sell on a daily basis is yourself. Give the customer a reason to have a conversation with you. You know where everything's parked. You know where the specials are. You know the equipment on the car. You are the expert. Become the expert. I know you're just looking, and that's important. What's most important to you? Become the salesperson that the customer seeks out. This has been PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Next week, we're going to talk about what's your best price. Is that the best you can do? I'm not really in the market. First stop, shopping around. 4-week series. See you next week.